In this video, I'm going to give you an exact 7-step strategy for how you can go viral in 2023. But this isn't going to be your typical trend-based virality. This is going to be the virality that builds long-term sustainable growth. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and this channel is all about becoming the coolest person that you know so that you can build an extraordinary life and an extraordinary online business. And this video is the second video in my Influencer Vibe series where I am teaching you exactly how to build your dream community for your personal brand or for your online business. And for the last couple of years, there has been a lot of talk about virality, going viral. And I think 2022 was really the year where so many people's goal was to go viral. What I wanted to do with this video is I want to teach you how to go viral the right way, because I think too many people were focused on jumping on trends, trend-based virality. And what this does is, yes, it gives you maybe a lot of exposure, your 15 minutes of fame, but it doesn't actually build true fans. It doesn't build long-term sustainable brand recognition. Going viral or actually building something that spreads is something that can massively help your brand and business long term. But when you think of virality, what you want to do is rather than jumping on a trend, you want to create a trend. Now, this isn't always going to get you as many views in the beginning, but if you can create an idea or a concept that spreads amongst your community that people actually want to share with their friends, it's not only going to help you to build your audience, but you really can then create a brand that people think about even when they're not scrolling on social media. And the power in that is massive. So what I'm going to teach you in this video is how to go viral by starting a movement rather than just jumping on everybody else's trends. I've been doing this for quite some time in my business. One of the movements or the trends or the viral concepts that I have created is the BTC pick movement, or becoming the coolest person you know, as I say at the start of every single video. Now, it's a slow burner. It wasn't as though the first time I talked about this, every single person was sharing it all over their pages. But with the steps that I'm going to share with you in today's video, over time, this has actually gained a lot of traction, so much so that my recent post with this concept, the becoming the coolest person you know concept, I've got some statistics here in my phone. At the point of recording this video, it got 280,000 views, which is relatively good for my page. But the interesting thing was that it actually got 1,654 shares. So people wanted to share this concept with their audience. That's actually a lot for my page in particular, and it's the most shares I've ever actually got on a piece of content. It also got 4,683 saves, which is really awesome as well, because it shows that this viral concept is actually really resonating with people on a deep level. So I'm going to go through and share 7 steps that you can take to actually create your own trend and go viral for your brand and for your business. So the first thing that you want to do to develop your viral concept is that you need to understand your audience. Now, I spoke about consumer psychology in the previous video to this series, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. But understanding your audience behavior is key to coming up with your viral concept. In his book, Contagious, Jonah Berger talked about how ideas spread. And one of the things that he spoke about was social currency. You know, people share social media content, they share ideas, they share experiences with people when they feel like it is going to make them look good, or it's going to make them feel like the best version of themselves. So when you're thinking about your viral concept, think about your audience's aspiration. I mean, creating aspirational content is so awesome for your business anyway, but what I will say is that if you can create something that your audience desires to share because it makes them feel like the best version of themselves, you have an awesome viral concept. So just dig into your audience research. Also, like I mentioned in the previous video, think about yourself. What concepts and ideas are you most likely to share yourself? And then when you start to think down those lines, then you can go into deeper research with your audience as well. The second step, though, when you are thinking about this is dig into your analytics. Like, have a look based on the content that you already share. What are people sharing? Go to the analytics on either your YouTube channel or your Instagram or your TikTok or wherever. And if you can get the analytics of which content of yours people are most likely to share, either on their stories or with their friends, that's going to help you understand the things that you already speak about, what is resonating with people so much so that they want to share it with their audience. So really monitor your shares as an analytic based on the content that you are already creating. So once you've started to think about your audience and what is likely going to increase their social currency, plus based on the content that you're already creating, what people are already sharing, then you want to think about developing your viral concept. Now, a viral concept is generally going to be either a challenge of some sorts, it is going to be a ritual or a routine of some sort, or an embodiment or a philosophy. So like with me, the BTC Pick movement, it is sort of an embodiment, but also a philosophy at the same time. It is a way that people are supposed to feel about themselves. You know, sure, people can go up and say like, this is just self-love. Yeah, it is at the core of it, but it's the way that I have used becoming the coolest person you know. It's kind of jarring. You know, generally we don't think about being cool or identifying ourselves as cool. Generally we talk about how other people are cool, but that's the exact part of it that makes it unique, because that self-admiration side of things is really what caught on with people. You really want to think about, is your concept going to be a challenge? Like, are you going to get people to move their bodies, or are you going to get people to challenge themselves mentally? Another really good example of this is the 75 hard. I see people talking about this all the time. It's a set of guidelines for things that you need to do across 75 days, and if you break it, then you've got to start from the beginning. So it's very mentally and physically challenging. You know, another embodiment concept would obviously be the that girl trend. You know, there was so many people talking about that girl specifically in 2020, 2021, and still into 2022, because it was an embodiment. It made people feel like the best version of themselves. Another really good example of this is if you've seen the creator Tinx on TikTok and Instagram. She's created what is called a routine or a ritual, which is a way for her to connect with her audience through rich mum walks. So basically it is just going for a walk, but again, she's created a unique concept that people resonate with because it makes them feel like the best version of themselves. So if you can create something that is aspirational and develop that into a challenge or a routine or a ritual or an embodiment practice or a concept, that is really the makings of your viral concept. The next thing that you're going to want to do is that you are going to create your own personal ritual around this. One of the most important parts of actually building momentum with your viral concept is that you need to be repeating it so regularly. You cannot talk about it once and expect it to catch on. Like I said, the BTC Pick movement, it really did take like a year for people to really start talking about it and sharing it and creating their own content around the concept. It wasn't like the first time I spoke about it, it just took off immediately. That happens sometimes, but it's not regularly that happens. So you want to embed it into your own daily routine. You know, another concept that I came up with earlier on, I definitely want to bring it back into my brand more, is the hashtag Dancepreneur Party. During 2021, when I was in lockdown, I would dance regularly on my stories, and I just started the movement or the concept or the embodiment practice of Dancepreneur parties, and I would talk about how dancing is a great way to increase creativity and to increase confidence, and that was something that caught on where people would start doing their own Dancepreneur parties on their stories. But I had to do it so often before other people actually started to participate in it. So Literally, you need to infuse it into your own daily routine. Like, how can you bring your philosophy, your challenge, your routine, or your movement into your daily routine? Because when you have it as a part of something that you do every single day, you're going to give yourself more opportunity to share it with your audience. Again, it's not going to catch on by you talking about it once. You have to repeat in order for people to start actually resonating with it. The next thing you want to do is that you want to make it easily digestible. So the way that you package your viral concept is really important. Now, this is where you start creating, let's say, your digital assets. You know, can you come up with a really cool name or an acronym or a hashtag that is going to be really easy for people to remember and really easy for people to share? So becoming the coolest person you know, I mean, it's kind of long, it's still pretty catchy, but I also came up with BTC Pick, and like, it just rolls off the tongue. That's the hashtag I use. It's something like most people refer to my concept as BTC Pick rather than becoming the coolest person you know. So they say, oh my God, that's like so BTC Pick. Or I regularly get people messaging me saying, I just thought of this and it's so BTC Pick. Like, it's just really easy for people to remember. It's really easy for people to communicate. That girl is obviously very easy for people to share, for people to talk about. And it's just really catchy and it's so perfectly descriptive of what it actually is. So you want to come up with your name, your digital assets, like I said, your hashtags. That's a way that you're going to help people to catch on to your viral concept and for them to share it with their communities as well. Next thing that you're going to want to do is that you are going to want to encourage participation. You know, it's not just by you sharing it every single day or as often as you can that is going to get people to want to participate in the movement themselves. Actually encourage participation. You know, get people to share with you their experience with your viral concept or encourage them recreating it in their own way. You have to incentivize this though. You have to tell them why it's important for them to be able to catch on to this routine, movement, embodiment practice themselves. Like with the Dancepreneur Party, I used to say things like moving your body encourages creativity, it helps to increase confidence, as I said. So I gave them incentive to actually participate in this. You know, the guy who invented 75 Hard, he talks about how that will actually create, you know, mental control and how help you have better discipline. Like, you have to encourage people to participate in your viral concept, but they need to know why it's important for them to participate in it. And the final thing is step 7 is that if something doesn't catch on, it's okay. Like, it's not a reflection of you. It doesn't mean that you're not popular, you're not share worthy. Like, don't worry about that. Just some things catch on and some things don't. I definitely recommend you read the book Contagious. I'll leave a link for it in the description. It is such a powerful book and it will help you understand virality and contagiousness and why ideas spread in the first place. But I will say, as step 7, like, if something doesn't catch on, that's fine. It just didn't resonate with your audience. I mean, go back and repeat the steps. Get really creative about the way that you share it with your community. But if you've done all of these steps, if you've tried a bunch of different ways and it still just didn't catch on, like, that's okay. It's fine. Go back to step 1 and try something else. Now, I want to say that this sort of virality, coming up with a viral concept, isn't going to be the make or break of your brand or your audience building, but I will say it is a really creative way to create long-term brand recognition. It's a really great way to stand out from the crowd, and it obviously is a really great way to use word of mouth in a digital sense to gain more visibility for your business. So if you can come up with something that is awesome, share it with me on social media. I would love to hear your viral concept. And if you are focusing on building visibility, I do just want to remind you that I have my Visible Masterclass, which you can sign up for. It is also linked in the description. I really hope that you liked this concept. I hope you liked this idea for video 2 of the Influencer Vibe series. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video.